Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, the 41-year-old reigning NFL MVP, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots do battle with Big Ben Roethlisberger, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with the New England Patriots. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Patriots, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory...
They met here on the opening Thursday of 2015, and they're at it again here. The Steelers and Pats are underway. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Patriots now to take over on offense. They're led out by a man who started more Super Bowls than anyone in NFL history, the great Tom Brady.
I can't help but admire the career Tom Brady has had. The numbers are off the charts. The Super Bowl championships and rings, we know that they are incredible. But how about the durability? Had one season that he missed, most of that season because of a knee injury. The rest of the time, he answers the bell and wills his team to victory more times than not. And what a performance in his last game. A couple of touchdown passes, that was positive.
But more than 2 interceptions.
Yeah, that's not what he's looking for. What did Vince Lombardi say, though? Winning isn't everything.
It's the only thing.
And that's what he hangs his hat on after last week's game.
They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball?
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Brady. Allen's got it over the middle. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. A first carry now for Rex Burkhead. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
20.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Cameron Hayward in on the tackle. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Now they'll throw with Brady. And Matthews has it right side. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. The Patriot passing game is rolling. They've got another first down.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising neither one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? Brady now on first down. Over the middle, that's taken in by Gronkowski. And he'll go down at the 28. A gain of 6 there on first. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. Bud Dupree, a former first-round pick, in on the stop. Now the starting lineup here defensively for Pittsburgh. They enter this one number 13, Charles, in the NFL in stopping the run.
And that play right there shows exactly why they're so good against the run. Held the line of scrimmage, held the point of attack, and stuffed him for no gain.
8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. From the gun, it's Brady. And able to connect with Berrios. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, it has to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here.
20.
Shotgun now for Brady. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Only able to pick up 2, and that leads us to 3rd and goal. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
So now on 4th down, on comes Stephen Gostkowski to try and get the patch 3. This from 25 yards out. And Gostkowski's kick is good. And the Patriots jump out to a 3-0 lead. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. And they'll be led out by Big Ben, their veteran quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
He takes this from the 30 to the 34. And let's take a look at the Steeler offense.
A big reason this team led the league in offense, the offensive line. Monster strength. 3 Pro Bowlers last year in Alejandro Villanueva, David DeCastro, and Marquise Pouncey. Kept their quarterbacks upright to throw it downfield and carved a lot of holes for their runners.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Roethlisberger hooking up with Brown to get the Steelers a first.
There's no doubt about it. That's just one of the best connections in the league. Big Ben throwing it to Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown has turned himself into such a player. A low-round draft pick, but you can't beat his determination or work ethic. And Big Ben welcomes that.
And Big Ben won a Super Bowl at 23, youngest ever to do so, has never looked back. Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line. Defensively, here are the starters for New England. They really played well in that win last week against Miami.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
On second down, here's Roethlisberger. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Now Roethlisberger. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. And he whips that one incomplete there. Vance McDonald, the tight end, was the target. And now it's 2nd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And he rifles one incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10.
We got 3. We got that. Like 30.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he finds McDonald. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
A first opportunity for the Steelers in the red zone. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16. Bell, and he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. A tackle for loss there. 2 last week. He's tough to handle coming off the edge.
And when you talk about a defensive end, your first thought is, how does he rush the passer? That's where he makes his big plays getting into the backfield. But the best ones can play the run as well. And that's what we're seeing from him, that excellent combination of holding the point of attack and also getting upfield to make plays in the backfield.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, it's Bell. So a good spin move, but not a whole lot to show after as he's taken down. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
Where you think 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
This will be caught at about the 6. And he has the 1st down before he's tackled at the 5. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal. Now Roethlisberger to throw. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. They get it to him running left. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. This is kind of one of those in-between plays here, Charles, on 3rd and goal from the 2 or the 3 in that area. What do you dial up?
Something quick hitting. You don't have the time for something that develops slowly. It's got to be right at them if you're going to run the football. And if you're going to throw it, something quick, get it out of your hands in a hurry.
Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. James Washington, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Steelers have taken a first-quarter lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Patriots offense now, they worked their way back onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super tall.
Now it looks like we've got a Patriot down, slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. On 2nd down, here's Brady. Got a man complete. It's Chris Hogan. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He got 29 yards that time.
I've got to make sure that I don't take Tom Brady's greatness for granted, that we make it routine. How about that throw right there?
Yeah.
Another great completion.
And you know one area where he honed his throwing? He was a catcher in high school. He was actually drafted by the Expos in 1995 in the 18th round.
Wow, that would have been something to see him behind the dish.
Think he gunned down a few guys?
Gunned down a few guys trying to steal second. That would have been fun to watch.
So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. 7-3 the score. More from the Steel City coming up after this. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Patriots in possession to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. Throwing on first down is Brady. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's a carry now for Mike Gillislee. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. New England on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Working from the gun, it's Brady. And Matthews over the middle with the ground. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And that will wind up just short. He had it on line. It ran out of gas at the end, and this score will stay right where it is. And there is nothing easy about being a kicker on a day like this.
Yeah, I tell you, not only is the footing tough in the snow, but kicking that ball is like kicking a rock. Very difficult to get any sort of feel on your kicks.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Washington with a catch, middle of the field. And he's got this down to the 35. He had the touchdown on the opening drive. Now he's got a first down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And a short gain down to about the 33. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open, and when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. And this is going to be incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away this timing.
So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
Now the Patriot offense set to take over again. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. T.J. Watt in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done.
Like 20!
Here's Gillisley. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole, 3rd and long.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Now Brady. Oh, he can't get away, and Brady will go down.
Well, certainly some teams are not intimidated by down and distance on defense, are they? 3rd and very long? Let's go get this guy again. Big-time pressure.
On 4th down on now is the lefty Ryan Allen to punt. Back deep, Antonio Brown. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive, missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you know, you put something out there, you're giving yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the post. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's McDonald. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a Pittsburgh 1st down, a gain of 13. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And that's complete to Jesse James. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. On the counter, here's Bell. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
On 4th down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Patriots take over. Mike Gillislee now with the rest of this offense heading back onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
And he finds a man on a crossing route. That goes as a gain of 11 and a Patriot 1st down.
Wait 20! Yeah!
They'll run with Gillislee. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. It's Big Vince Williams who made the tackle.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Wait 20!
Now Brady throwing on 2nd down. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Allen. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Give him 15 yards on that one, and New England has a 1st down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Wait 20!
This is Gillislee. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Brady to throw on 2nd down. He'll check this one down to Michel. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd and 10 now.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And Gostkowski's kick is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
On first down, it's Roethlisberger. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jason McCourty. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown. How about that for a little jolt right before intermission?
You talk about taking momentum into the half with you, and so many teams have an emphasis on trying to score in the last 2 minutes of a half to carry that with them. It's not often talked about scoring on defense, though. That's extra mo.
And now they may take the lead into the locker room as well. Now Stephen Gostkowski on for the extra point. Gostkowski with the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger heading back out there. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get him back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has one touchdown, one interception. He'll be looking for that second. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Duron Harmon. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Now the Patriots offense, they work their way back out onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Wait, 20.
From the gun, Brady. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And the Steelers set to take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. This too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Now Roethlisberger. They'll fight a man over the middle. It's Washington. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. Here's Roethlisberger. Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Jason McCourty. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Final 24 seconds of the first half as they come up here 1st and 10.
20.
Now Gillisley. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. T.J. Watt in on the tackle. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. So at halftime, it's the Patriots with the advantage. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In the game you're watching, it's who else? Tom Brady with a strong first half. His guys have the lead as the white stuff continues to fall. And for the call of the second half, we give it back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This snow front that has socked much of the East Coast not going away as we are back to it in the second half. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The first update from Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Devin McCourty brings him down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense. I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Second and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. This is Bell. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, it hasn't been a whole lot of fun for Le'Veon Bell in this ball game, trying to find room to run the ball. I'm sure they're going to have to change some things up because he's so versatile. They've got to get the ball in his hands somehow and create some space because they're losing this game.
Well, defensively, you got to key in on Bell, make him the focal point to stop, and they've been able to do that.
And he has gotten better every year he's been in the league, always adding something to his game, one of the premier runners in the NFL.
On second down, here's Roethlisberger. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
The Steelers on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Like 80.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still 3rd down.
Now they face a 3rd and 15 here following the delay of game. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Adrian Claymore in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. That's their first time getting to the quarterback, sack number 1, and, you know, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but you show them a lot of different looks, and they did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half. Now they've got to come up with a counter to that and maybe do something different.
Here's Jordan Berry now. And this is blocked. The Pats bring heat, and they get home. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. Now, so much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you.
No.
In however form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
Here comes the Patriots offensive unit. They'll have it first here to begin the third quarter. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
20!
Delay of game, offense.
So that one will be accepted.
Still second down.
Doesn't look to be any confusion here as they come up now on a 2nd and 6 following the delay of game. From the gun, it's Brady. To Michelle on the dump off. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Shotgun now for Brady. And that's caught by Gronk for a Pats touchdown. Rob Gronkowski with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Patriots add on to their lead.
He's still one of the best tight ends in the game, and while he has no shortage of things he can do once his playing days are over, I think that touchdown just signaled that Hollywood can wait a while.
So now Brady and the Patriots going for 2. Here's Brady. Oh, he can't get away, and Brady will go down.
Well, they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. Gostkowski now out to kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's James. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. From the gun on third down, it's Roethlisberger. But it's brought in by Washington. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Roethlisberger now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
4 down. Set. Like 20.
Delay of game, offense.
Now the play clock hits 0 here, and we're going to get a delay.
Still first down.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Set. White 80. White set.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. On the left side, it's McDonald. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. A good pickup after the penalty, 12 yards, and it's second down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Roethlisberger coming up with a 1st and 10, and he's 6 of 7 now on this drive.
Set. Like 80. White set.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Adrian Claiborne in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now Ben on third and long. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up fourth down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the right hash, this from 44 yards out. And Boswell's kick is good. And that lead is back down to 9 now. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. He stepped right up like a pro.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So the Patriots coming out now. So Brady and the Pats take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. A play fake for Burkhead. Now Brady. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. T.J. Watt in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
The job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Now they'll run on the draw. Dances by him. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. Now that gets back some of what they needed, but they're still stuck here with a 3rd and 13.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And a nice little quick spin move before he's dropped. And a pretty good game. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 4th down. A 40-yard punt, no return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. We focus our attention now on the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. And I guess right now as we look at some of his struggles today, the term next play really applies here. He's got to move on.
I love where your head is on that because that's where his head needs to be, exactly what you've said. Yes, there have been mistakes made, but he's got to move on and play the next play as if it didn't happen, keep his confidence up. But how about the guys on the defensive side of the ball? They've got to be feeling great about what's going on right now. They've already gotten to him a few times. They want to keep that up. Maybe they can pick off a few more.
Yeah, they disrupted already for 3 INTs.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Back to the ground, this time with Bell. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. And the Steelers on third down. Now, they've converted 7 times and could use another right now. This time it's 3rd and 3. Roethlisberger will throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. 7 yards there. Good enough to move the sticks.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Now Roethlisberger on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. To the right side, incomplete to Washington. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
Sometimes the most effective routes are the ones that you run in the backyard, and you probably ran them when you were 5 years old. How about a little curl there against zone? But the key to it is finding the open spots in the zone. How a linebacker or a defensive back will widen to give you space. Find that area and let your quarterback hit you.
Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. This one complete, right side to McDonald. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another 1st down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. To throw here, Roethlisberger. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
When a ball's tipped in the air and falls incomplete, sometimes it's almost insignificant, but not in this game because 3 interceptions have already been thrown. So when this one got tipped in the air, you just had to wonder, could this be the 4th? Instead, it falls incomplete, and the guys on offense breathe a sigh of relief.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another 1st down. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Patrick Chung. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
And the Patriots gearing up to go now. Turnover that just got them the football back, obviously a big one, because had they been able to score on the other side, this would have been a one-possession game.
So you don't sense full relief here then?
No, I don't, especially with the ball this deep in their own territory, because you make a mistake, they've got it right back in prime position.
They certainly do. So now, almost like almost like a 4-minute offense, right? Take care of this bad boy. Make sure the other team doesn't touch it, but move it with consistent gains. Wear down the clock and make them use their timeouts in this situation. Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
White 20!
Now Brady. And right side caught Hogan. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. That one good for 13 and a New England first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They go play action here on first down. Over the middle, that's caught by Hogan. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. They are on to the 4th quarter now, by the way, in Santa Clara. And the Seahawks have moved out in front in that one late. If they can hold on, the win would be number 8 for them on the campaign.
White 20!
Brady now on first down. Looking middle, it's caught by Gronkowski. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. A gain of 6 there on first. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down.
White 20!
Now Brady again. And a big loss here as he's taken down. T.J. Watt in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
Tough spot for the Pats now after the sack as Brady will lead them up 3rd and long.
White 20! White 20!
Working from the gun, it's Brady. He'll check this one down to Michelle. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here's Ryan Allen now as he's on to punt for New England. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Offense.
And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. And McDonald here over the middle. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 12 yards. And that'll make it second down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Now Roethlisberger to throw on 2nd down. And yes, complete to the tight end, McDonald. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. The gain of 39 that time.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Ben to throw again. And he finds McDonald. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another 1st down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Roethlisberger with a give to Bell. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. You gave the stat early on that he's one of just 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards last year, and then you said they needed to bottle him up for under 100 yards. He's way under 100 yards.
Bottom line, he's had virtually no success whatsoever.
And because of that, among a couple other reasons, they're down on the scoreboard. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Jason McCourty. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. And now out come the Patriots. Getting down to the end here, they have a 2-score lead. Barely, but it's a 2-score lead, so that probably makes you as a coach feel a lot more comfortable right now, doesn't it, Charles?
It does, but it doesn't mean now you go out and run option or some kind of wild double reverse or anything like that. But you do know that if anything does go haywire, you're still in control of this game.
I want a double reverse, don't you?
I'm just waiting for that day where we actually see something like that in this situation.
We'll see what happens here. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Wait, 20! Ready? Pack, pack! Wait, that!
They stay on the ground. This is Gillisley again. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. And the Steelers signal for another timeout, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Go. 220!
Now Brady. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Now it's Roethlisberger. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The quick slant, good for a 1st down, a gain of 12. Now it's Roethlisberger. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. They'll run it now out of the gun. Gets past 1 man. And he'll get this up to about the 40. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1. Here's Roethlisberger. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And he will score. Touchdown, Patriots. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there. So go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt it.
It's almost thrown into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick 6.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. So now Brady and the Patriots going for 2.
Wait, 20!
So after the INT, it's Brady. And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. And they they turned the pick 6 into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalized with a little bit on top.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Now a desperation throw, and that's caught inside the 35. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Darius Hayward-Bay, his second touchdown on the season. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Extra point now by Boswell. Boswell good with the extra point, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays, and it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And the Patriots are going to recover, and that should just about assure victory. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. The Patriot offense now set to come back out onto the field. Only 1 timeout defensively, so this should just be a simple kneel down.
I agree totally. I looked at my time management chart. It says take a knee, victory formation. They just have 1 timeout left, and that should be all she wrote.
By the way, it's a good thing you can read that because nobody else can.
Not with my chicken scratch. Not at all.
Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. Brady will take a knee here, and that should just about do it. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Well, partner, there's something special about a game in the snow. Just always fun in these elements, although a little chillier up here in the open-air booth. The only thing that's not fun is that we got the mid-game notification that our flight was canceled tonight, but we'll deal with that later. It was really a fun game to watch, though.
It was, and there is something special about games played in the snow because the element of surprise really kicks in. You don't know how they're going to handle the ball, if someone's going to make a dramatic play just out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it just changes the course of things. But a big shout out to our crew to make sure that we were comfortable up here, as comfortable as one could be. In these elements, they took care of us and made sure we were dressed properly.
So for New England, they're not going to go quietly here as the win moves them now to 8-6 on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Buffalo Bills.